going down, YouTube? Nindo Knight here. Think I'm gonna start doing a new segment where I review these fights by these great talked about fighters, you know, just to give you my perspective on what I see and what I think about it. Because I mean, you got people doing reviews, but how good is it to get a review from an actual fighter, right? You know what I'm saying? Someone that actually knows what he's talking about, not someone that believes his magical one punch in the streets is gonna knock out anyone. Nah, we're gonna go from a real fighter with a good IQ's perspective. Treat me like another Shakur Stevenson, or since I'm MMA, treat me like an Izzy or a Sean O'Malley when I'm watching this shit. Because mainly I'm a striker, so I thrive off of, you know, using my hands and feet. Not really much of a wrestler. I have wrestling skills, but I prefer to knock you out with these hands, these feet, these elbows and knees. But, yeah, Gervonta Davis, man. Like, I'm not the biggest boxing fan, but I've watched boxing plenty of times. My older brother, he's not with me right now, but my older brother, huge boxing fanatic. You know, he watches all the GOATs, the YouTube GOATs, everything. So he know more about that than me. He could tell you about who should be the next fighter. Me, I just started watching Tank, I would say like a year and a half ago. But it didn't take long for me to notice his skill set. Like, when I seen him, 5'5", dude's short as hell. So, for one, most people he fighting taller than him. So, his ducking ain't as difficult as me, 5'11", ducking. I duck, you feel me? I have to duck a little lower. He's already shorter, and he has to duck. So he don't have to bend his knees too much to get the upper hand on the taller opponent. So that's why his hardest fight was that one guy that was shorter than him. Forgot his name. But anyways, that's besides the point. Ryan Garcia and Tank fight. Let's get to it. What I noticed coming in that fight, Ryan, he came fast. Ryan is fast. I give him that. Like, I say if Ryan took a round, he took the first round. That's about it. Other than that, Tank took everything else. But Ryan came in with that left. He actually was spamming the shit out of his left. I didn't see too much from his right. Ryan would spam the hell out of that left hook. But you know what I noticed even more? Ryan's best move was his left hook, right? His most terror of a weapon is his left hook or his left to the body or something. Because Ryan could have easily threw a liver shot just like Tank. But Tank was easily dodging every left jab hook that Ryan was throwing. I seen the speed in Ryan's hook. Because I'm fast. Like, you can see my first video I ever put on a quick jab. I'll tell you about a quick jab. But I noticed Ryan got a scary hook. But Tank was dodging them all. He made it look like it wasn't even a threat. And that's why I gotta say Tank beat Ryan with low difficulty. I would say mid to low. I want to say mid, like high mid, but it wasn't high mid. It was low mid, probably a high low, but basically, he didn't have to do too much with the difficulty level. It wasn't that Ryan wasn't really skilled or anything. Like, Ryan had the speed. He looked like he had the power behind it if it connected. But you could tell from Tank how he came in that fight. He was aware. His IQ was just on a different level. Ryan fights like someone, how I first came into fighting. Ryan fights like a guy with a lot of talent and a lot of potential to be a very great fighter. That's how I came into fighting, thinking I could beat everyone with a lot of talent and athleticism and pretty much could do anything flippable, flexible. I was just built to move my body as a fighter. And I can see Ryan has that potential too. But Ryan, he's still green, I could tell. His fighting IQ isn't on the same level as Gervonta's. Most people think Gervonta is a knockout artist or he's a power puncher. And those are true. But those are only secondary to his true terror. Gervonta's true terror is he studies you. And every fighter say they watch their fights and study him and they'll find out a move or something that they could get past. But Gervonta, I could tell his main ability is he will study you. And when you study a fighter, you don't need too much arsenal, if we're being honest. Like, this is why having a high fight IQ triumphs any technical ability that you have, because you can have all the skills in the world, but once a fighter has you down and knows how to operate in between the way you move, you don't need that much arsenal. You just need the right move that's going to get in and keep using it when it works. And that's all Gervonta did. He just kept hitting him with that left down the pipe. Gervonta realized once he realized how how Ryan keeps throwing his little left hook. He likes to spam it first. Just Gervonta dodged like 2 of them in the second round. I won't even say it took 2 rounds. He probably had him down by the first round, but you see by the second round, Gervonta easily knew, all right, he gonna throw that, duck. All right, he's about to throw it again, duck. Oh, he's coming again. All right, this is the perfect time. And counter with that left straight down the pipe. And I'm left-handed, and I'm also a southpaw, but I'm switch hitter now, so I'm orthodox and southpaw. So I noticed that once Gervonta realized he could get on that, he used that. That's all he really needed. Just evade, not use too much energy, and pick pinpoint precision punches. That's why he has like the best accuracy right now. So it really was Tank. He has a high skill level. He hits hard. You know, the hard hitting knockout, that's secondary to his IQ. And his IQ is on a different level from Ryan. Ryan's very nice. He does have the physical ability to take on Tank if he could get him, he could have had a knockout, but Ryan came in fighting like someone that's just fighting off of his instincts. He's using his instincts alone and didn't really ever have a real game plan. He probably did. His coaches probably taught him about something. I'm not sure. But you could tell as a fighter, usually as a fighter, a lot of times you throw that away when you get into something where you just stop thinking. Tank thought the whole way. Tank came with mind games. Tank, he had a plan. He knew he was more experienced than Ryan, so he kind of always knew where he was going with it. Ryan knew he had the skills to take on Tank, but he got to see firsthand that this fighting game, when you fighting someone that's on the champion level, what's going to take you to the next level is the intelligence of fighting. Fuck the skill sets, fuck the combos, it's the intelligence. Once you have the intelligence over the fighter, you know when to attack, how to attack, and not to waste too much energy because you know what they're going to do. And Tank did that perfectly. And he's done it in previous fights, but I see now that this is what Tank does. This is his style. He will read you. It don't matter how much time he needs. He will lose the cards and read you until he get there to win. And honestly, he does good at evading and eating hits. Like, we forgot his name is Tank. Like, he really could take damage like it's nothing. But because he got so many other abilities, we overlook all his other skill sets. But he's a high tier fighter for sure. Ryan's definitely a great fighter. His IQ isn't on Tank's level yet. Tank's level was steps ahead. So as much as Ryan trained for and did, he didn't pick up on reading Tank better than Tank read him. So Tank ultimately, took him apart by 7th round. So yeah, and that liver shot. Let's talk about that liver shot, man. Well, first, let's talk about before the liver shot. I think Ryan already knew them body hits was starting to hurt because it was either the body hits was starting to hurt, he was starting to feel it, or after he got dropped in that second round, he realized that straight that Tank got off, that left straight. And once he realized that, every time Ryan would mess up and throw something and he seen Tank would start to fake that. Tank would start to fake the left. He'd keep faking it until he seen Ryan would curl up. And he seen how Ryan was curling up, but it got to some point, like later in the rounds. I know y'all noticed it was like 2 times Ryan would curl up, preparing for that left straight. But he would curl up and turn his back. Like, it was low-key weird. Like, is he hurt or something? Like, he was doing it too hard to where, like, at this point, he just respected his power. Because at that point, like, Ryan, he had the block. Like, he was going to block it regardless, but it was such a goofy and, elementary style of blocking that it showed that Tank got into Ryan's head. At that point, Ryan was starting to get out of the fight. Like, mentally, he was starting to be broken once he realized he couldn't get past Tank and nothing was landing. And Ryan, don't get me wrong, Ryan was trying to take Tank's head off. He was. Problem is Ryan's fast, but the thing is, when he goes hard and tries to throw his best moves, he knocks himself off balance. I don't know if y'all noticed that. As a fighter, I see that. His strongest moves make him look so woozy when he throws a left right, a left and a right. He's already off balance. Tank's on his side. Tank just didn't capitalize on, pulling the Rolly Romero on his ass. He could have did him the same way, honestly. But yeah, Ryan, he needs to work on that. I honestly say not to throw your biggest shots until your form is more fit and correct, because any counter from Ryan's shots will knock him off balance. Ryan, he just throws his whole body off of it. Like, he has fast arms, but his body telegraphs it too much. So you got nice speed, but if you ain't throwing from the shoulder, all your moves are still able to be seen. So, Ryan, he's great, but I see a lot of flaws that I seen early coming in. His head movement was less. His head movement was better than before, but his head movement was usually a problem too. He's too stiff, upright. Like, at the end of the day, no matter how good you are, if y'all both on the same even level, but Tank move his head more than yours and your head don't move, and Tank has great accuracy, precision in his striking, he's going to connect with your chin or your temple at some point. It's just going to happen at some point because you lack head movement. You lack variety of footwork. He did good though, but I hope this fight helped him realize and learn where he lacked and compared to some fighters that are on a higher level than he is. He could still get there. He can get there next fight if he has a genius fighting IQ. Like me, I came in a fight, I wasn't even thinking like how Tank and them think. Now, say it don't take me too long to read a fighter. Like Shakur said he read them in 2 rounds. I think 2 rounds is too long. Shit, most street fights don't even last more than 30 seconds. I got to read you after the first 3 punches. After the first 3 punches or movements, I can tell what your to-go-to thing that you like to do is. And I'm going to capitalize off that until you switch it up. Some fighters like to hold their best moves and just block with one hand the whole time until later rounds. Like, everybody got their own stylistic ways of how to, throw their opponent off. But reading your opponent is what I'm saying. Reading your opponent is the best thing you can possibly do. Because when you read your opponent, they could train a new move every day, but the guy that trains the same move over and over, but let's be honest, what we call it, his foresight, let's go to Keegan terms, let's go to anime fighting terms. Usually the genius fighters that stand a cut above the rest, they have good fighting on par with the other fighters, but their foresight, their pre-initiative, they can just see further. They can stop your movements. It's just they're on a different level. So once you reach foresight level, which shows Gervonta got, you can literally one-shot lower level fighters. That's just how it works. Once you reach pre-initiative, once you reach foresight, you can turn anybody beneath you a fodder tier once you understand. That's why fighting is way more of an intelligent game. Like, get all the skills you want, but once you do, man, heighten that fight IQ is all I'm saying. So I was really impressed with Tank. I'm not gonna lie, the fight was great. He really showed. Now he got me thinking. I don't know if he could beat Shakur. I don't know if Shakur could beat him. Now I think the fight is really close now because Shakur is just basically a Ryan, but with more output, better accuracy, and better position in the footwork. So I mean, Ryan said that's what he felt like could beat Tank, a guy like that. So I think that's the fight to make now. I think Ryan needs to fight Rolly now. they both got their own little styles, sometimes kind of goofy, but I think those two would be a great matchup. They need to make that happen. Now let's talk about that left hook. That left hook, man. Look, a lot of people don't know about the liver shot, but if you a regular at watching fight sports, combat sports, then you know that liver shot ain't no hoe. Let me tell you, I ain't never got hit in the liver in no combat fighting, but I've been hit there before. And that, you hear the commentators, they kind of don't know what they talking about. They thought it was a solar plex hit and stuff. Solar plex in the middle of your chest, which it can knock all the wind out you and put you on the ground just like how Ryan was. But you see where the angle of that punch was. Tank studied Ryan so much after that second knockout, after that second round knockdown. When he seen Ryan in that 7th round, he seen Ryan coming in with the actually, he faked it. He seen how Ryan was tensing up, like I said, he was doing all that backwards showing your ass curl ball thingy, and Tank noticed that. I noticed that. So if I noticed it, I just told you what level Tank is on. Tank clearly was going to notice it. He fighting a motherfucker. But Tank noticed that, and he started faking. He started faking that faking it. He seen Ryan curl up. He's like, oh, okay. Did it again. Ryan curled up, and instead of curling up, he took off because he didn't want to deal with that. So he decided to swing first, which is cool, but he didn't have no setup for it, which Ryan never does set up his greatest attacks. So that's why they're easy to avoid. He has no setup. That's his problem. He's too green right now. He needs more experience with fighters that can read fighters. So he needs to spar with Tank or something like that. But yeah, that liver shot, when Ryan started taking off, when he got scared of Tank throwing, Tank ducked it, and they both threw their strong punch. Ryan threw it right, though. And Ryan actually hit Tank in the head. Tank ate it, though, because Tank was already coming from the ground up with a stronger punch, and he came straight up to the liver. And the thing is about the liver, let me show you. The liver, motherfucking, it's on your right-hand side. It's only on your right, not your left. So when he came and hit him, you got your rib cage though. So your rib cage guards your liver. So it's literally over your liver. But the problem is right at the bottom of your rib cage, you have a little bit of your liver hanging, a little bit of it. And if you hit up into the rib cage at that angle, should even hit in the rib cage hard enough and it taps that liver, it just taps it. Oh my God. It's a delayed reaction too. You might be in the middle of, you feel me, your nerves is working, you don't feel nothing. But once you calm down and that liver, it hits you, oh my God, it's like getting hit in the nuts. It's like getting hit in the nuts. You're going to be down for a good, honestly, you're going to be down for longer than 10 seconds. Hitting the nuts, you're going to be down for longer than 10 seconds. But with fighting, you want to get back up. And you can get back up. Majority don't, because, you know, the liver shots is too much for a lot to hate. For a lot to take, but some do get back up, and you can. But what I noticed, Ryan got back up right after the 10 count. So he knew he could, but like I said, he was mentally out of the fight way before he got down. He realized he couldn't take on Tank. He realized he took too much damage and he wasn't getting enough reward. And he accepted the fact that Tank's mind games and how Tank read him, it just took a toll on him. Ryan, he felt defeated. So he decided, you know, to come back and fight another day. Ryan was defeated before the 10 count. He was defeated before he went down. He just realized it. So there ain't nothing wrong with that. You smart when you can realize that you ain't strong enough yet, but you come back to fight another day. So I actually got more respect for Ryan. I just hope, you know, he doesn't take this and go arrogant with it or, you know, starts making excuses. So as long as he stays training, he can be a great fighter. But yeah, them liver shots ain't no hoe, boy. Them liver shots ain't no hoe. So yeah, don't get hit with a liver shot. I mean, if you do, shit, train for it. But yeah, or Ryan should have went for his own liver shot, you know? But Ryan, like I said, Ryan's still green, but that's for another time. Yeah, but definitely, if you like these type of videos, these reviews on different fighters and fights, comment below what kind you want to see next. I'll do MMA, I'll do boxing. We can break it down together. Yeah, and definitely, before I go, like, comment, and subscribe. You know, support the channel. I would really appreciate it. We want to get these viewers up there so I can, you know, bring you more of what's going on in my life, my fighting life, and I will show you the reviews and stuff later on. Yeah, and we'll get back to it, but I appreciate you, and y'all stay dangerous. Love.